Welcome to Less Than 12 Parsecs, the fastest Star Wars podcast in the galaxy. Now here's your host, Tim McMahon.
I'm going to sound like an old man on this episode. I'm of the original trilogy generation. I'm old enough to have seen all the films in the theaters and to have them become a major milestone in my childhood. From the Kenner action figures to the Marvel comics to the poster magazines I hung with pride on my bedroom wall, I am 100% OT Gen. Now recently, a younger guy I know, he's post-prequel trilogy generation, I guess you'd say Clone Wars Gen maybe? Well, he said something to me that turned me into a grumpy old man. He said that right now, Star Wars feels dead. What? I nearly choked on my blue milk. Explain yourself, youngling, I demanded. Well, he said, there's nothing going on. We're just waiting. We're waiting for Rogue One. We're waiting for Episode 8. We're waiting for the next novel for Rebels. There's nothing new right now, and it just feels dead. That's when I had to pull on my grumpy old man pants. Back in my day. Now, Star Wars is such a powerhouse in our world of pop culture these days. I wonder if anyone who doesn't remember the 20th century can truly understand what it's like to live without Star Wars. Can they fathom the dark time when there was nothing and no promise of anything new? Now, I entered high school in the fall of 1986. At that point, it had been 3 years since Return of the Jedi. The Droid and Ewok cartoons had ended, the Marvel comic book had come to an end, and the TV Ewok movies had mercifully passed us by. Heck, my mom had even given away all my old action figures to my young cousin. During this time, Star Wars wasn't even a part of my lingo. It wasn't part of the world my friends and I inhabited. Star Wars was part of childhood, and we were teenagers struggling to become adults. We thought we had to put all of that childish stuff behind us. How stupid was that? And this nothingness of no Star Wars, it went on for years. It wouldn't be until 1989 when I discovered the West End Games Star Wars RPG on the back shelf of my local comic shop. And even then, I couldn't find anyone to play with me. Next came 1991 when Dark Empire by Dark Horse Comics came out, and even that didn't really take off. It wouldn't be until 1994 when I read the Thrawn trilogy by Timothy Zahn. Yeah, I was a little late to that game. The Thrawn trilogy, combined with the newborn World Wide Web, well, I was hooked, and ever since I've been 100% Star Wars 100% of the time. So, to go back to the kid I was talking to, no, dude, Star Wars is not dead. Star Wars is more alive now than ever. Sure, we're waiting for the next movie, but we only have to wait 100 some odd days. And we're not just waiting for a movie, we're waiting for 4 movies. And we're waiting for a TV show, and books, and toys, and games, and so much more. So no, sorry, just because it's a slow news week for Star Wars, that does not mean the franchise is dead. Put it in perspective, man. Now you kids, you better get off my lawn before I call the local troopers to come blast you back to Alderaan. Houdini!
You've been listening to Less Than 12 Parsecs, the fastest Star Wars podcast in the galaxy, part of the expanded Fandomverse network of shows. For links and show notes, visit our website, TwelveParsecsPodcast.com. Follow Less Than 12 Parsecs on Twitter at 12parpod, on Instagram at 12parsecsPodcast, on Tumblr at 12parsecsPodcast, and find us on Facebook as well. And please let us know what you think. Email us at 12parsecsPodcast@gmail.com.